I'd like to see the.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start the meeting for the special meeting for Planning Commission. We're gonna start with pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. On our agenda, which I apologize, my day got away from me and I have failed to print a couple of things, so item number 3 is approval of minutes in the agenda. I'm gonna make one correction on number 4 for the agenda minutes. I can't even speak. We're gonna strike that and do that on our next meeting from our October. I did not have those printed, and that is why. On that. Anything else before we approve the agenda?
I'm making a motion to approve the agenda with the amendment.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it's been a little bit since our last meeting, so organizational meeting to nominate and approve board officers for this board.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion that we accept them as they were last year.
Okay,
If everybody's in agreement with that.
for those, I think we have to do probably one at a time, maybe. I'm not sure, but for those that didn't realize, Susan, vice president, myself as president, Ms. Johnson as secretary, so.
Yeah.
Everybody, nobody wants to start
I
that?
think you're doing a good job.
I will happily give a position over because I.
Don't, yeah.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, appreciate that. I like the pre-meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. So this was a special meeting for that, but also new business was about the cell tower. So I think this is probably the time that we're gonna have to invite, the commissioners are here today also to, be a part of our meeting, because I think the cell tower is a whole new, position since I've been on this board and others. I don't know if anyone else has approved a new cell tower for our jurisdiction of the county, not city, not Hamilton, or the other adjoining towns, but for our county, I've not been a part of the process of a new cell tower, and we have actually received 2 requests for new cell tower development. So that's gonna be what we're gonna be discussing, and I think we, in order to make variance of that, we need to bring commissioners in on that decision. And my understanding, you might have a discussion on that before we adjourn and then start the new joint meeting with them. Discussion? Any questions? No? Okay, so I think the way we have to do this is we have to adjourn our plan commission meeting here. Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to amend,
Okay,
or to end.
do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I think you probably need to come up here. I know you probably sit in these seats quite often, but I think to make it so that everyone can hear our live stream. What we're doing.
Move to the end, you two can have a hot spot.
I was thinking I'd take the NC.
Okay. So, if anybody else want to take a seat, we can, but I received on, the building and zoning side of things, we had requests. They were wanting to apply for, developing a new cell tower for Perry County. In doing so, we don't really have in place like solar fields and such. We don't have that really in our, procedures and process, what that looks like start to finish. After discussing, and I think you guys were on that email thread, we did speak to the attorney. He did say that we would need to create a variance and then just go ahead and do a building permit per se for that particular item. So that's the 2 steps we'll have to do. I don't know, other than that, what we're thinking on it, I do have 2 packets that, I don't know, we just want to pass it on. There's 2 packets that 2 different entities have contacted us on. There's 2 separate locations. One of them, you'll see on, I think it's page 2 or 3, the general location of them. One is out by the interstate, and then one, to my best understanding, is going to be close to what would be a landmark of around the Michael's Market area. About 37.
There's a second one.
Close to Michael's Market area. Those are the 2.
Was they the last 2 that was in the last emails?
Yes, sir. That was the 2.
Okay.
And forgive me, I didn't print the entire packet. I think the one packet was around 200 pages of multiple attachments, which some of that I don't feel like we actually needed, but it's part of their process to apply for a variance. We have actually additionally had a third party that continues to request the public building permits for any cell towers in the area, and I believe it is a company that currently has one out at the interstate location area, and they are just, I think, inquiring for their knowledge of who's coming in around them, and they did speak to the fact that they would like to speak to the commissioners or anyone else if they're going to be close to their cell tower, which I invited them to this meeting. So I don't see anyone other than our local officials, so I don't believe that they were interested in coming to this meeting. So those are the 2. I think the goal would then be to just try to figure out if these are going to be something that we want to create a variance for, and then the next would be to draft a building permit process for that, because the cell tower is completely different right now. If a cell tower comes in and does any sort of modifications or additions to a current tower, it is a $100 fee that we charge to do any sort of alter, if it's an antenna, any battery backups, things of that nature, as long as it's not making any adjustments to the footprint of the actual structure. That's what the current process is for just a standard building permit for improvements to current towers. I did do a little bit of research on the cell towers that I'm aware of that are out there, and the only reason I would happen to know these is when they're coming in for building permits. These are the address locations, so I did print those to kind of give you a general idea of some of the ones that are current towers that are out there, as well as I looked at one that was close to the interstate, and it looks like if that third one did become approved for this variance, it looks like would then be 3 in the same within a 3-mile radius. That's just kind of information, for lack of better. Kind of giving you guys some ideas. I don't drive around looking for cell towers much, but it is something we have some. I know most people think that the Brushy Fork one is that is not our jurisdiction. That is
The one here in Siberia, actually is some private work real close to this site. This is the right one. Is this going to be a new tower or an update to a tower? Because
I appreciate that question. I did send out the wrong link, I think, with that first one that I sent you. If you printed that,
Okay.
This one, the American Tower. So the one I'm passing around is the correct one. That might have been attached.
An older one or something?
That was attached to a development they were doing on that particular site.
Okay.
Yes, so that was, I apologize, yes. That was from your first question though. I do have them, but I do have 2 packets that I can pass around. You printed those.
That's good.
We got a new one in since our last conversation, so there's 2 as well total.
So Mandy, what do you actually ask the party tonight, whether you want to grant them the option for a variance?
I think,
And the process behind a variance on a cell tower. I know when I did this, there's nothing in our zoning ordinance whatsoever about cell towers, cell improvements or anything, and I think that needs to be addressed. And the comment to me on a recurring basis is you guys are way too cheap with your permits. And I think at the time, if I was charging $50, because that's what Junie said, he was charging for the updates because there's nothing in the work. So I think you guys need to consider your fees. I did a little research, 250 to 400,000 is what a tower costs. I would encourage a permit to be in those kind of numbers for similar to a house or another building. So that's the value of it. And then each one of the antennas that's attached to it, it could get it pushed up to $600,000 or $700,000 because of, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 different providers that put their equipment up on top of it. So I don't know exactly, you're at $100 probably on the upgrades now, how you want to address that, because that's going to be a reoccurring type thing. So I think we need to incorporate a modification in there so that's clear what it costs you, to get a permit and what you're going to be looking at. So
And in the process, I think we did get an answer. Mr. Foster did emails back on the 27th to say that he just wanted to confirm that this is unincorporated Perry County. It's not a part of the scenic corridor. If the answer is yes and then no to the second question, he would just suggest that we get a use variance and improvement location permit.
So, and then see, I think we need to write something up in the event, cell tower, this is the procedure, because I don't think there's anything there at all.
There's not in my knowledge.
Yeah. So if this is what you guys are comfortable with, going through the variance of this, because that grants adjoining property owners an opportunity to express their concern, correct? So, I mean, you're not shutting out the surrounding property owners. At the same time, we hear as commissioners on a reoccurring basis of the poor cell service in Perry County. So the only way we'll improve that is more towers. So we don't really want to be a deterrent, but at the same time, we don't want to shut the adjoining property owners out where they don't have an opportunity to express themselves. That would be my thoughts as far as how you address this, draft the documents, whatever works for you guys.
Correct. And I know it's drug on quite sometimes that this is part of this, is just getting it into our codes and trying to get some of that in there as well, because I know we did that reduction of the square footage for residential minimum square foot dwelling, and I think that's still kind of in lingo, but the final stamp on that, we've done all the processes, you guys have approved that, it's just.
Ask Dan about trying to get property to the county.
Well, there's that.
Just as an example.
Yeah.
So, it's painfully slow.
It is very slow. I think we've been working on that for about a year and a half now. So,
So how is the site zones that they're wanting to put it on?
I think they're all out in the county, and I looked at them as, they're kind of vague, but agricultural, residential is the two, to my knowledge.
There's some areas that I always thought this was strange. You've got agricultural and you'll have like an industrial or commercial
Business
right there by itself, just sitting there, and then the rest is all agriculture.
It's very peculiar.
Sometimes that's because I had a billboard there at one time. We had taken and made a spot. for billboard.
Maybe that's how it occurred, because I had one gentleman that was asking me about that, and I said, well, what's on the lot next to you? Nothing. And I thought, well, it's something different.
And I do think the one that's close to Michael's, I didn't click on that one, because that's the most recent one that came in, and honestly, I didn't have time to really dive into what all that looked like, but that's that second one, by Mr. Brockman there, is that area. The other ones have all been close to the interstate, the other one close to the interstate, so they all want to go out that direction. I mean, for myself personally, using cell coverage in Perry County, I think that area where they're looking to go, would be a helpful situation.
There's a dead spot.
There's a very dead spot in that area, although I think the adjoining landowners probably will want to leave that meeting.
Right.
They want to do that,
As it
because
should.
it's gonna be pretty substantial right there. Any other
So
discussion?
what does it need to be zoned to have a cell tower there? What's that?
I don't know, I would guess it'd be some sort of commercial, to my knowledge, it's gonna be more of a commercial zoning, so we don't have that many.
Okay, so
Some
if
zones,
it's
like-
agricultural or residential, we'll have to get it rezoned before they can
Correct.
go there.
I would think that they're gonna have to do it.
Yeah, they'll have to go through
I
that
don't know,
process.
too far, our variance covers that lack of being able to rezone, it's just a variance for this particular.
I would, and here's my perception on this. Anything we can do to make government less burdensome,
Sure.
I'm on board with that. And if you look at the specifics of a cell tower, and if I have 200 acres of ground and I have a hillside that's agricultural. I'm fine with the cell tower being there. If I have it as forest, I would still be okay with having a cell tower. So to me, to make them change zoning to go have a variance, it just makes more steps that they have to do. And I for one, would like to encourage development and people spending their money in the county and providing us an opportunity to.
I agree with that. There's definitely things we'll have to put in place that they'll have to, there's a written letter that has to go to landowners, and we'll have to be sure that all that's followed, especially if we're not gonna rezone it, if we're gonna keep it like
And
it is.
you know, so that they, whatever that diameter of acreage or footage or whatever surrounding the tower and the impact, whatever that number is, that they have to notify those property owners.
And it might be
3 times. I mean, they have to try to catch them 3 times.
the,
I mean, they'll have to have they have to be in, contact with the airports and all that stuff, so they have to get their own license that way, so as long as we're in compliance with that.
And does agriculture, does the DNR have to have something to do with that? Remember we ran into that one other time?
that was for that campground, I think that was.
Oh, yeah.
Just because
Okay.
it was a campground, I think that's a different thing, is that what you're talking about?
Remember the DNR was involved.
I think,
We
I
had
think
hard
because
time
of the,
getting hold of them.
yeah.
Okay.
That was probably the,
I think maybe we wanna put a disclaimer in there, exactly, you know, that they secure all the other required permits associated with the erection of the cell tower. So that they don't say, well, Perry County gave me one, I put it up, and now the FAA's in here going, you can't do that. So I mean, that's probably the language the attorneys draft.
Because cell towers are interesting. Sometimes you can have a single tower, you know, and then some of them you could have those, but it's got those guy wires, some big 3 guy wires. So, I mean, there's a single tower on mine and Seal there. They don't have no guy wires, but it's just a single pole up. It's not that high, but yeah.
Do we know if there's a rule on like the distance, like that you said that one was 2.4 miles?
I don't know that we have, I assume since we don't have cell tower rules, we don't have a distance between cell tower. Yeah, so I think we
Gotta
gotta
be something, I mean,
We need to
we
look
don't
at.
want them on every corner, but we need them. So we
Sure,
don't
we do have height
overcomplicate it.
regulations on what they call radio towers, which I know the one packet was very thorough. They've applied for cell towers in multiple places, you can tell, there was multiple attachments there, and I didn't print all of them. They actually, on that particular packet, if you wanna pass that down, they actually have the height restrictions, they have everything from our zoning codes in their packet to reaffirm that they're gonna stay within those guidelines, so I don't think they're looking to do anything outside of what we.
So just as an example, and I'm gonna throw this out here, and I don't have an opinion either way, but on Brushy Fork Road, you have 2 cell towers probably within 750 feet of each other. Do you wanna try to restrict that, or do you wanna say this is competition and you're gonna allow whoever wants to build one, it's like the filling stations, everybody can build one on each corner. Now, whether you can survive, I don't know, but it's your business decision, so you need to consider what direction, and I don't have an opinion necessarily either way.
We looked at any neighboring rural
Yeah.
counties,
I've
their
looked at-
policies and stuff.
I've looked at some, I think it's like anything, I mean, I always look to communities that are doing things maybe even better than what they're doing to get ideas. I did look at Du Bois County a little bit, but their city and their county is a little bit different, and it's just fast, so I think to narrow down what we need to do, I don't know, you know, maybe plugging in some of that, but.
The only some of these things on single pole, once they do this in bigger cities, they'll mount them on signs, buildings, anywhere. It's to cover where the building blocks the signal. So you can end up with that type of a cell tower, if they ever come to Perry County, I don't know that they will, or the massive cell tower is high. So I mean, there's, and I don't know whether you wanna try to catch all, or you wanna have 2 separate categories, I don't know. The one that you hang on the side of the building is substantially less costly, because we looked at that, because some of the hills, if we could get them popped in some of the valleys and that, so we can get some coverage back on. Part of it is for our ambulance service and our police force, so they can actually communicate. And we looked at some of the low spots in that potential of popping some of these in here so they can get better surface.
So back to the, on the variance, on our codes, it does have a section there that talks about our variance. And I think it's done a little bit, maybe I'm reading this incorrectly, and I've not been on this board as long as you have even, so, it doesn't state anything about noticing the neighboring properties. So I think that was for our zoning requirements, so maybe not for the variance. I don't, it indicates that we have the right to.
Right now, we don't have an ordinance that says that they have to build it on commercial property. No?
Correct, that's what I'm saying. I don't,
So,
the way I'm reading a variance is that this board, has the right to make a variance on an appropriate piece of ground as long as we've met our guidelines, unless I'm completely reading that incorrectly. I know our zoning appeals is that they are required to send notice to the adjoining landowners with what they call the green cards for certified letters, and certain notice and timelines. To my understanding, the variance is something that the board approves.
You guys can create your own thing. You don't necessarily have to use a variance. You can come in and say specific cell tower requirements.
Sure, I think
Once you
that's,
go by.
I
And
definitely, yes,
and
that's
then
what happens.
that's how under, and we'll figure out whatever number it ought to fit underneath the draft, exactly what the rules are, and they're unique to the cell tower.
I definitely think that's step two. We do have two in place, and with our attorney saying that variance and a permit, I think these two that are in front of us, I feel like we need to do a variance and a permit, and then we're gonna have to set a board.
Modify the-
Yes, correct. I think that's a good idea. Because these ones.
These here, if they want to get started, we don't want to hold them up.
And that could be next year, and I don't wanna do that. So I know the one discussed that if this is all set into place, that we are approving a variance for these locations, that they are looking to start. That's not very far away. And I don't think we could, just knowing historically how some of these are taking timelines, it won't be that one November next year. So I'm just being a realist, not a pessimist, but that's just what it's looking like. Time you get meetings and everybody here and things of that nature. And if our attorney said that we could do a variance, as long as everyone's reading our variance laws the same way I am, we have the right as a board to make that decision to put the variance into place on these, to approve these or not as a variance. And then we would have to decide what we're allowing for the permit and fees. I did kind of look at some of the other permits, and they range anywhere from $1,000 to $2,500 in a range on a fee for a one-time structure.
And was that based on height or anything, or number?
They really didn't say, but again, we can pull from some others and maybe just, you
So
know,
Mandy, what is a $300,000 home or building or whatever?
it's square footage.
Yeah, I know it's done by square footage, but just an idea, what do they pay?
So in general,
$500.
it's a $200 base rate for residential, and then it's 10 cents a square foot, so it's 2,000 square foot, 10 cents a square foot.
It's $400.
But there's no,
So those are,
there's nothing that says.
and those, in the building world today, you can't build anything less than $400,000, so that gives you some value of what we're doing here, so.
So $500 to $1,000 range, something in there is what you
It
think.
seems reasonable,
As a permit.
it seems reasonable since our repairs or upgrades are $100, that's kind of a base platform for that, that we took into place probably.
And maybe if you determine, I don't know how high these towers are, but I'm assuming they're the big ones.
We have high requirements, so we do have some of that in
So
place.
a certain height tower carries a higher permit versus one, a single polar, that's lower, would be a more affordable one, because it's not as costly, maybe half that amount or something. I don't know. David, how many antennas are hanging on the one by your house? One?
If you're talking about the single pole structure,
Yeah.
line still there, they might be about 3, I don't know.
3?
Maybe, I don't know, one set on each side on it, I don't know. I don't think there's a lot.
But see, if that's kind of, I know they were taking them and putting the antennas up on top of the water tanks too. To get service out of those. Antro's got several.
Does Antro got some cell towers out
Yes,
there
on
on
top
that?
of their tanks they do. But they're not building water tanks, so I don't know.
Yeah.
They may build one sometime in the future.
So,
But I'm just thinking if you have something less costly structured, might have a subcategory for.
Sure, most
Yeah.
definitely. So there's-
so here's, Grant County. 320 for permit plus 13 cents per linear foot of tower height. A 200-foot tower would be $346. Chesterton's $350, Putnam's $1,000, Jefferson County is $2,000, LaPorte is $2,000. The low end for the whole state is $300 to $500, but the most common is $1,000 to $2,000. Higher end start at $2,500 in the county.
I mean, I think that's something we can reevaluate even after a year, you know, to reevaluate fees,
You
but.
gotta understand around some of those larger counties, the
Yeah.
amount of money you can make off of the cell towers is substantially more than you can in rural areas. So
Yeah, so that's why I
we wanna
thought
be
the
affordable.
common, the 1,000 to 2,000 is probably where we want to be.
Yes. We wanna build. That's
I'm sorry about calls on that.
exactly,
So-
we've all experienced that.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I mean, I know with that comes things that you won't like, but that's whatever. Future.
I don't want to make it as cumbersome as having to measure and adding.
Correct, I agree, in my opinion, I think it needs a.
Yeah.
Flat, small.
We already do that on some other things, it's like,
It's,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's
not
real
cool.
confusing, especially for the taxpayer that's trying to do our other ones as well.
So are you guys saying, you know, the $500 range or the $1,000 range?
Do 750.
There we go, the middleman.
There you go.
I mean,
And that would be for future, that's not these two.
We have to charge them something, so right now we're just having
They've
them.
already done it in the process.
No, so they have asked us to put these into place, and I put the reins down because I don't have the authority to approve that. So that's why the board meeting's here, because we have had two that's applied, they want a variance. One has been repetitively, as we're trying to gather board members and get everybody here, you know, they've been repeatedly asked for that to be put in place.
Let me throw this out too, you might wanna consider. A lot of times when they build the tower, they may have only one service provider. Then in other times, they may have 3 or 4. So where you're getting $100 permit on them for the other ones, you may have to have something when you buy this permit, it's for one every additional provider, you know, AT&T.
AT&T.
I'm gonna put a C on the end of it here in a minute, or Verizon, or T-Mobile, or whatever, something so that you capture that revenue, so, because I know the one on Troy, on the road down there, Fresh Fork, went in with just one antenna when it bit. Now, I don't know what it's still got or not.
That's what these addition $100 fee
Right.
has been so far. So
So-
far, it's been $100 to driving something else, so that particular tower is $100.
So your permit fee is also for one provider. Additional
For the
providers,
For that one applicant who has applied and
yes,
like,
and then
when
when
since
you
it's
start adding the other ones, and they may have a multitude, because they may have, you get one out around the interstate with 4 service, and you might have 5 or 6 that they put on all in the building tower. So that you know, consider that when you.
I mean, I think, you know, we're just on these particular two, which if those could make their way back down this way, so people could maybe see those two, I appreciate it. Then they can, these are the two that's in front of us right now, and then we will have to make a cell tower addition to our code. I think that's where it's at, which is for a separate meeting, but these two are right in front of us for this year, that's planning to do something this year.
Now, do we really, commissioners don't play a part in your variance.
No, the question was originally before Mr. Foster replied most recently on the 27th, so this was kind of in limbo for a long time. And so for our lack of knowledge from the board, we go for above us. So that's where.
So this is you guys' call.
Yeah, so at this point, yeah, it would be whether or not the board wants to approve. Those were kind of the distance from the ones that are there now. I don't know from my lack of education on cell towers and what benefit it would be to have them that close together, because there would be then 3 within what, you know, as the crows fly, like 3 miles apart. One would be so close as to less than a mile. I don't know the benefits.
Do you ever go to the big city and you scratch your head at how many different businesses are similar, just copying, or you may have McDonald's on every
Sure,
corner and you ask yourself, how does that make sense? But that's not really our decision.
Correct. I didn't know if it was, with my lack of understanding of technology, and maybe they'll do it in devices with that, but the, like wavelengths, the Wi-Fi part of it, all that stuff, does it then create a problem for the towers we've already allowed here? Not we as in this current board, because I don't think we were here, but the ones that are already stabilized, if putting another tower between those two, is that gonna create a problem with these two that we've already allowed? That would be just a question.
I think you have overlapping coverage on cell
I
towers.
mean,
That's the idea behind not dropping as you
Okay,
drive.
Sure.
So for traditional cell towers, 100 to 300 feet tall, Indiana state law generally prohibits local governments from requiring a minimum separation distance between wireless support structures. So it says we can't.
I think those are just some of the questions I have, just because it's out of my realm. I can tell you all about homes, but as far as cell towers, that's out of my.
So what you're saying is that we can tonight as a board, yes, make a decision to have a variance for these two to go ahead and erect their towers. And it's going to be for the one, whatever the price is for the one antenna that they're putting in, with the exception of the additional charges to add additional improvements for additional towers. And then we're also saying that the zoning doesn't matter. We're, because it's a variance, we can say that it's correct. Okay, and do we have to notify any surrounding people on a variance?
I was reading that on our variance code. I don't see that we have to, but anybody else done variance in the past on anything that I don't?
I think we probably ought to
just looking
ask,
at our
I don't
code.
know, we have, I can't get that answer.
I mean, I think out of, yeah, I would like to be notified if it affected my property.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it's the right thing to do, just to make the notification.
Can we require the landowner to make the notification?
Yeah, they do,
Yes.
yeah,
That is a requirement.
yeah, they will do it, we don't
Yes.
do it.
Okay, but that's gonna be then we're adding to the steps. But, I'm just one person, it's just throwing it out.
So
It's
you've got to
steps.
determine the amount of footage, because we had a, guy that came in to abandon a road, and he came in and we asked him, did you notify your neighbors? I own all the ground.
Correct. That's what most of these cell towers are.
And see, that's the question is, if it's in some farmer's ground or property owners that owns all around it, then it becomes kind of a.
I mean, I understand that as a landowner, there are times as a homeowner that something goes in across the street, it's not a cell tower, it's permitted residential structure, and the condition of that property is not how I would want to live across. So I think it's a similar concept, and as a variance, I mean, I don't know, I think we're giving it a variance, that's part of the process of our variance, is not to ask permission from everyone else other than the board. Not saying that in a condescending way, that's just how our variance is structured.
So why don't they just have to notify him, not ask for permission, but just notify him that this is going to happen? Because I think will save conversations down the road.
Sure.
And upset.
I mean, I'd love to know everything that goes in around me too. I mean, it's just nice, but what that looks like legally on our end, I don't know that we are.
Has anybody looked at the properties?
Yeah, I do.
You know, these two you're looking at, because I think this is like step one, and then you're gonna revisit this and write some rules.
Correct.
Has anybody looked at these as to whether there's affected property owners in the region? Or are they all on
This
a
particular
property
one,
owner that's,
I think I put that.
I mean, it all depends on probably where your hill is, where your road is, and where you can get utilities there.
Talking about.
I mean,
Here is this.
I have that GIS, I mean, this.
Right here, there's your.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, ma'am. So this,
Michael's.
Michael's,
That's right across,
this is that pond that sits there.
right across.
And then this gentleman owns this and also this, but so they highlighted this in their packet, but he also owns this, and my assumption is it's gonna be somewhere in that vacant slot. Okay, but I don't know that.
So like this is Kenny McAllister's.
Yeah, right across from Ken Kelsey.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the last name of that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think, something we can add in the future on our codes for cell towers could be that it's so many feet from a residential property. I think, I know one that sits right up the hill there that the landowner decided to do it, and it's within spitting distance of their house. I would never have done that, but that's what people chose to do.
It's
They
their
owned it.
property, yeah.
It was theirs, it was theirs to lease, and they also felt like, I guess they benefit from their lease, because they were being compensated for the giant tower that's right outside their home. So
And in the future, it may impact the value of their home.
it did, yes, I definitely 100%. That did affect their home.
It's personal property.
Yes.
If you wanna do it in your backyard,
But I think that we could, in our laws, stated that it is so many feet from an adjoining landowner to maybe prevent the
Build right on the
unsightly,
water.
yes.
there needs to be some,
Correct.
just like you have zoning setback on your
Sure.
house and buildings and that. Something reasonable is not excessive.
Current residential structure.
But still, the cell tower company is doing some type of notification to that adjoining landowners.
If we can add that to the policy that we write it for the variance, it doesn't look like they have to. But we might, I don't know if we can recommend it.
I mean, we can make that into our new statute for that. If we're gonna do cell towers, it's this size, this distance, this requirements, this notification. I mean, it could be all of the things that we would like to see if we were the landowner. I think for this one though, you can't go backwards and create laws. We don't have any place, so we're gonna have to do a variance for these particular two moving forward on these two, if we're wanting to. And that's, again, I'm just here to.
We need to incorporate in that is also solar fields.
And wind.
Yeah, we can have, we can have. all
Keep
those.
them separate.
Yeah.
Correct.
Just-
Yeah, three different
Yeah.
policies.
If you make it, because that's the new
Correct.
things
And
too.
tiny house.
And the tiny house, I don't know. We're still waiting on that. So,
All right, so I'm gonna go back
any other discussions?
back to square one, so we,
Yeah.
So we have to get all this down in an ordinance before
For
we
future.
can approve.
No,
No, not these two, for future, these two that have applied for variance, we have the right, according to our bylaws on our codes. And according to our attorney, to these particular two that are in front of us, to do a variance, because he has reviewed them and stated that as long as they're not in scenic corridor, that we are allowed to do it by variance and permit.
so we can approve it here today at a fee of $750.
Or however, yeah, we'd have to probably do a motion for each item, including the fee. That's the second one, probably.
And then, do we need to, Mandy, incorporate that into the zoning code?
It's gonna have to be incorporated
But
with
do you want to do this once you draft all your other documents?
for the variance or for,
Well, just like the fee schedule. I mean, I think you have one online, don't you?
we do have an online fee schedule, it's
So I mean, what is the process? When you changed the fee schedule before, what did we did?
we came before the board to approve them,
For the commissioners?
not the commission.
You guys just did.
As the board, we
That's what
did.
I'm thinking.
yeah, we
Okay.
rewrote,
So we don't have to have any
Yeah,
involvement.
that's
You can make
my
a motion.
understanding, yep, if
You
that's
can make-
incorrect, please
Yeah.
correct.
but I
You can
think
make a
that we
motion.
did, Mr. Lynch and I, we wrote those. And we put them together, I think we approved them, but I think they went to the commissioners meeting for, I don't know if
as
it was
far
for
as
acknowledgement,
the
or if it was
size-
for,
I think we approved the size of the building. You know, when you made it smaller.
That, but
But I
this is
don't think
previous,
we
yeah,
did.
this is probably 6 years ago,
correct, I think
when
she's
we changed all
I
of
think
these.
that was, yes, because I received this proposed packet from a president of the board. So I think that's something you guys I was not here, so you guys must have done that
Yeah.
previously. And that was the packet for the application, the fees and the structure.
Yeah.
And then when we, that was a separate thing for the sizing for residential. But then as the board, we did make some corrections to that fee. Because it just didn't make sense.
Yeah, we took the surrounding counties, big and small, our size and on either side of us, and we went through and we changed the fee schedules, because before that, you think they're low now, you should have seen them before we changed it.
Correct.
So,
So, and I think that's something as a board, we just have to reevaluate.
I think it needs to be reviewed. So, all right.
So as far as that goes, I mean, is there any more discussion or questions that you have about the two that's in front of us? I know we're gonna have to come back for other.
I guess has there been any person against it that we know of?
Not that we know of course,
But if they're not aware, how are they gonna?
I think, to my knowledge, I don't think any variance in the city limits either requires notification to the neighbors either, but I could be wrong on that, because I think I went to variance for one of them, and to my knowledge, they approve the variance, just like we can approve the variance without notification.
I'm all for development.
No, I
I'm all for development, but if we're gonna require something in the future, I think we probably maybe just wait a month or something, or try to get this kind of right.
I definitely think that as we proceed, like we had said before, as we're gonna change our codes to add cell towers, and here is the ABCD structure for that. So I definitely think, I agree there, because I think it needs to be similar to a concept of maybe as zoning appeals, give them the right to attend a public meeting. I think that's something we can definitely look to do, but for these two particular in front of us right now, I think the one is wanting to start in November, and not that I'm looking to push any agenda through here to get it to November, it's just, I think you'll end up holding it up much longer, because we still haven't finished that last one, it's been a year and a half, so.
So do we need to set the fee structure for these?
We will have to set a fee structure for new development for cell
No,
towers.
for these
So
two.
it's still varies, yes.
I think it's gonna be a variance, which would include the fee structure. Forgive me if I'm wrong.
Yes, you're right.
So what would be your motion for?
Is it okay if I can ask this question? What about the one from Hamilton? The one that's in the county, it's actually not in the Hamilton city limits. How did they get there?
They went
That
to-
new cell tower.
They went to Hamilton, I had no knowledge.
I mean, it's in the county.
Hamilton issued the permit, do they have
Hamilton issued the
a,
permit and everything.
do they have a 2 mile radius like Tell City does? I don't know.
I'm not sure how that looks. I know it's right there in a borderline when I just overlaid our mapping of that, because I actually found out about the cell tower when someone called me with the electrician of the cell tower to hook up the power. He called to get a permit, and I said, well, we didn't give a permit for the cell tower, so you're gonna have to reach out to that permitting entity for that, because we.
So do we know if Hamilton even did? I mean, because when I looked it up, it looks like the property is actually in the county, but.
I feel like it is, but it's like one of those already done. I don't know, like we had zero belief with that.
And then the only other thing I wanted to say is, this maybe has nothing to do with what the county does, but whenever, one time I had to get a variance in the city because we built and it was a little too close to the line and we had to ask permission, so we didn't have to remove what we had. And we had to hire an attorney and go through the city boards, and they did have to notify our neighbors and have like a public hearing and give them a chance to come in. I don't know if that's still the case. This has been many years ago.
I don't know, that's what I said. I was just pulling our guides off of our.
When Andrew says you have to do a variance in this, is he just missing that part of the process of the variance, or is it just strictly this board can say, yeah, you get a variance?
So this is what it says. It says, yes, if the cell tower requires a zoning variance or special reception in Indiana, neighbors are generally, which is a big word, required to be notified before a public hearing. Written notice mailed to the adjacent property owners or owners within a specific distance, often that's 300 to 660 feet, or another distance set by the local ordinance, QBS.
So which is what happened in my case.
My best friend, Chad.
Yeah, but I'm saying, you know,
But I mean, that's.
we don't have anything in place. That's probably a good reference tool.
If it's, so you're saying if there's variance to the cell tower, the part is already there.
Yeah, but I'm thinking we don't have anything that deals with cell towers at all. And all we have is a variance process. And I know Tell City, I've went through that before too. They have multiple groups of people that you have to go step through the whole thing. Yeah, it's a really an ordeal. And I think we want to streamline this process. We want to provide, this is going forward.
Yeah.
We want to provide notification, but you don't want to make, well, you got to go to the plan, because you guys got two different boards, this board, that board, the commissioners, the council, and make it just difficult for somebody.
We want it to be as simple as possible, but legal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's the piece that's, we
I
gotta
agree
do
with that.
Good.
What you read is exactly what I had to do, and when it said generally, there was a public hearing, there were notices sent to my neighbors, they did call me and say, what is this all about? So I just didn't know if that's,
No, I
in
think
Indiana code, I felt like that was kind of like how it's supposed to be, but Maybe not in county side.
I don't know, and that's why, the only thing I say about county, no, you're fine. The only thing about county is we have, someone called us the Wild West, which I don't feel like we are, but also we don't have the same structure as cities. We don't have a building inspector. We don't have some other things that other cities, even a smaller community like Tell City has, we don't have any of that. And so even our variance that's in our code does not state that we have to do any of that, unless I'm missing something there. So again, I'm not.
So what supersedes, state code or local code?
I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, like I said, my opinion is I think we should, I know it makes it a little bit more complicated, but I think we should notify joint property owners. Because as a property owner, if one of those just popped up right next to me, I'm not gonna be really thrilled.
I think
What
we're too.
You're out and about a lot.
I think it's proper thing, even though we could do a lot, we need to probably just, at least a certified letter
Yeah.
saying get back with us in 15 days or
So
something
then,
like that.
if you're going to do that, what I would suggest, because you already have your rules in place, and what you want to do is not impede these towers.
Yeah.
So probably your board would issue these notifications and then schedule another meeting and give any adjoining property owner an opportunity to speak prior to your decision on the variance. And then you could do that. It's not a legal requirement. It's just being a good
It's
citizen.
not legally
And
required.
then that way you guys send them out, whatever you determine the radius should be, that group. And then you schedule a meeting relatively quick, this is the thing, just to address that variance issue, so these guys can go ahead with their cell towers if you approve.
Oh, okay.
So
And then
it's
that way you kind of notify the
600,
neighbors.
you said the average is 300 to 365 feet. So what range do we, what radius do we reach out to? I mean,
Is it just the ones that are
Adjoining?
touching, like the adjoining
Well, a
landowners?
city
Is it-
block is 500 foot long, so
Yeah.
if you plucked her in the middle, would you want to do 500 feet around it? I mean,
Yeah, I
that-
would just say it.
The only reason I say about adjoining is, like we had said before, there's an agricultural spot, they're putting a cell tower right in the middle of their 60 acres and they are the adjoining landowner.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so then, is that suffice, or do they need to actually go to the adjoining other additional property?
I think once you think about this, if I own 500 acres and I want to put a cell tower in the middle of it, and somebody then from Tell City comes in and protests because I put a tower there,
Sure, no, that, I think.
it's unreasonable. So, I mean, I think you need to determine whatever your footage, diameter, whatever that is, put a circle there.
Yeah.
And notify.
so what do you think that?
I would think maybe like 500 foot from your tower location,
Just from where you're gonna site it, draw a circle.
500 foot circle from the tower location.
And is this something that as the board, we are sending out as a notice, so we ensure that it's completed, or we?
I think,
On these
I
two.
thought these two, I think you're gonna require, it, because you don't have it in your code requiring it. And you're doing it just to be a good neighbor before you make a decision on these variants. That kind of, make sure they notify at the same time.
Okay. And it's, so I think we need to set a fee tonight while we're here. And say we're gonna send those letters, and we'll have that part done, and we come back to approve.
It'll be a quick meeting if
Yes,
nobody shows
yes.
up.
Yes.
Okay, do we wanna still, okay, so two things, do we wanna still try to get notice out to everyone for the end of this month, or are we rolling into?
No, I think we need to go, how many days, where are these people gonna get these letters, and how long do they get to get back? 10 days?
I figured out, thought it was I think
Is it in there?
if one of them was a notice, I don't remember.
Well, I think we're doing this on our, as a
Yeah,
good
I was
faith,
just-
yeah, we're doing this as on a good faith effort, so I don't
Let
think.
me share my experiences with the US Postal Service. They can list 14. Or they
Maybe
can,
150.
yeah.
Yeah.
Currently, took me 21 days to get a letter to Indianapolis.
Okay, so then if we're looking 14, so then you're still looking, so say if we just kept it on a Monday on the 24th, would be giving us a plethora of time by the end of this month, is that what we're thinking, or are we trying to do it earlier than that?
I don't have my officiating schedule on me. We're starting to get really busy, all of our officials.
I'm sure.
But that doesn't mean I I mean, we still have a forum without me, I just wanted to show that others will be here. Is this something we can do, I can dial in, if you need a forum, does that work? Hope that's over for me later.
Yeah. Okay, so I think what we have on the table in place is to go ahead and notify the within 500 foot of the cell tower location for these two particular variances only. In the future, we're going to have additional meeting to structure a cell tower process and have everything we want included in that to be sent to, publishing on that, have that as part of our new guidelines, and then also including other things as well, which would be solar fields and such. But for this particular one, the 24th is a Monday.
What?
This month.
I'll be here.
Okay,
I will come back September 1st and then I leave the 7th.
Okay.
you're fine, she's not over schedule. So while she does that, so then I would then, she can decide if she can be here or not, so we're getting sparse then. So I will look to send out notice. Unless anyone else wants to do that.
Are we setting up another meeting right now?
I think we should in
Yeah.
order to.
Yep.
Keep this rolling as quickly as possible, because their deadline's coming up to start this, and
I don't wanna hold them up.
I don't wanna be the key that holds them up, no.
I can't be here 24th either.
Okay,
But
that's
we're
fine.
gonna do different days.
So you'll be back on the 1st?
I leave the 16th, I come back on the 1st, and then I leave on the 7th. And then I'll be back at the end of Sunday. No.
So Tuesday the 1st, when are you available that evening?
On the 1st, I will be leaving Chicago, so, probably not. We haven't decided if we're gonna sleep there.
What about the 2nd, September
That I
2nd?
should be okay.
Is that too far out? I mean, I don't care to do it next week, but I think we, like you said, we're gonna have to have.
Yeah, and they have to get it back, after we receive it, and they have to,
The only thing is you really don't know how many people you have to notify, do you?
I've looked at it a little bit, and I don't think there's a plethora.
That's what I mean, you could give them a call, you could personally meet with them, whatever, to speed the process, just to make sure they receive notification. And if you've got one or two people you need to contact, and that's it.
Are you volunteering the door knock, or?
I'm thinking out in your, I don't know the site exactly, but you're gonna have to, CNS would have to be notified, and, what's his name, you mentioned,
Yes.
McAllister,
McAllister, yeah.
and then,
We got,
is there another one there? I mean, I'm just thinking.
Going out by the interstate looks like there are probably 4 or 5 adjoining landowners that, I mean, they own multiple parcels, so.
Yeah, what I'm thinking is if you could track down their numbers or whatever and give them a call, if you need to get it done earlier to work with you guys' schedules.
I can door knock, I mean, I really could, to Michael's market.
Okay.
But I don't know how that's gonna be legally, but I can.
Well,
We don't have
legally,
to,
you're not
I was
required
saying
to
legally,
do
we're
it.
not required to do any of
That's
this.
the-
We're just trying to give them an
Just being a
opportunity
good
to
citizen.
express their
Can you
concerns.
draft a letter
Absolutely, I can
and
do
then
that.
give it email to me and I'll
Absolutely,
door
I can
knock?
do that.
I
So
got
then,
a wedding this weekend, but I gotta leave by Thursday, so.
in my area too.
okay.
I don't
what about-
mind to make phone calls if it
That's
needs to be
fine.
done.
So then, what if we back it up to August 17th? That is also a Monday. Mondays seem to have worked a little bit better.
I'm good on the 17th, and I'm good.
16th is when I leave.
Yeah. just travel. Okay.
He's darn employer.
He's got a job.
You got
Leave
so
him
much
alone.
fun. I see you out there.
Still a job.
1, 2, 3. I love it. I want to travel. Okay. Are you guys able to be here on the 17th? It would just be
17th, I can be here on the
So,
17th,
yeah, good.
17th,
I think, yeah.
17th. So the 17th, and we want to keep it at 5:30. Is that working for everybody, or is somebody breaking their neck and getting this meeting ticket to get here?
So good, I don't care.
30.
Says the retiree. Okay, so
You
5:30.
want me to door knock both sides, or you mean door?
I will
Michael's?
get, so today is Monday, Tuesday.
The Beckman site, you shouldn't need to, I mean, it's
It's probably, Beckman's probably okay, unless
Well,
Beckman's been notified.
a large property.
Oh, it is?
Beckman's, like, are you talking about out by the interstate? I don't have the
That's-
names.
I think the Beckmans are the ones with the kid, so Kidderman Corner is the one that I work next to, I think.
The one on Oklahoma Road, is that the one you're referring to?
But the one, Beckman is, Marilyn Beckman, she's my neighbor. And, Mary Jo Beckman, and, yeah, they probably don't, maybe that east.
Yes, I see that. That's the one all the way out by the interstate then. So, yes, I mean, if there's,
They
I'd
might
have to
be-
look at mapping to see where they were laying that in their property, and it might not need any
I
notification.
see the
Oh, you
map,
have it
right?
there?
Yeah.
You have-
There might be the east adjoiner, I can look on GIS, but if you could draft me a
I'll
letter
draft a
from
letter,
both towers, and then I'll just do the boots on the ground.
for Beckman's
So
signature or
that
something.
name, I'll do.
Thank you.
Man, I appreciate that. That would be amazing.
Cause I know
Okay.
people pretty well.
Okay.
I could get them to you now, email you.
Confirm that you've got them. That's fine. Okay, so then the 17th at 5:30, I will get you a letter tomorrow afternoon.
Good.
And then, okay, so then I don't think we have any motions to make that I'm aware
Or
of.
we're gonna set the fee.
We want to do that tonight?
They'll need to know that.
I think they're spending enough on the tower that our fee is probably not required as part of their process, but
I'd be surprised.
I mean, maybe $750 would hold them up. I don't know. I doubt it. I know myself how bill it is, so I can imagine.
I can't either.
So
that would be.
So, okay, as far as that goes then,
We can wait.
I know,
I don't know how much our bills are.
Yeah.
right. We can go ahead as far as that goes to set the fee tonight. That's fine if someone would like to. Entertain a motion
I make a motion for 750 for this.
for these particular
These
variances.
For the variance.
For the two
And then we'll set a fee
variances,
schedule
for a
the
one-time fee of $750 for these two. Motion by Mr. Dodson.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Uh,
Aye. Motion for $750 carried for these two.
So it's $150 if they add on to the tower.
Currently $100 for an addition to the tower.
But the motion was for $150.
Second.
$750 and $150.
Oh, I didn't hear.
I didn't
that.
hear anything about $150.
Okay,
That's already said.
Is that clear?
that's what I said.
Okay, and then our next meeting will be 5:30 PM on the 17th. If for some reason there's something that happens, you cannot be here, we want to make sure we have a quorum, so please notify me as soon as you know. Any other discussion before we adjourn? Nope. I make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
We're out. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you. For doing the light work. Send it over there. Check it out.